What can you see from the Bulldogs here today, Matt?
As I was talking about on the Boomer Report earlier with Anthony, you got to expect a high-scoring game from both teams here. Both teams it's very important to score, especially if they want to get on top of Mass Maritime, which has about 146 RBIs on the season already this year. And one of the key factors is also going to be Sydney Ramos, who is leading the GNAC with a .650 batting average coming into today's game. So we got to keep an eye on her today.
Scoring position. The Bulldogs have to get something out of this, Matt.
You don't want to leave, especially your two leadoff hitters, you don't want to leave them on base, especially when you have 3, 4, and 5 coming up after who are supposed to be your more powerful hitters to drive in runs.
That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what you need. That's what she did. She did her job. She waited for the pitch that she wanted. She liked it, and she took it. You didn't have to hit it all the way to the fence to do that job. You had 2 runners in scoring position. A single scores them both.
As you mentioned during the Boomer Report, it's going to be a high-scoring ball game, and both these squads are showing that.
Especially when both pitchers, they're both pitching great, don't get me wrong, but they're both pitching for contact. That's what both of their game plans is for right. Contact. So when you have pitchers that go for contact, you're going to give up runs, you're going to give up hits. That's just the name of the game. You can't be perfect every time.
This ball game can really go anywhere, Matt.
Oh, definitely. They're on the right track. They had both teams scored twice, and now so far.
Kilpatrick with a shallow hit. That one goes directly into foul territory to keep the count at 1-2.
This is definitely Dean's time to get on base and score because they kept Mass Maritime to 0 runs in the second inning. She's been very disciplined, very patient at the plate today. That's her second walk of the game, as you just said, and her first walk helped ignite the offense to get on and get scored. And Silva's got to be careful out there because Booker tried to backpick Ramos the first time, which ended up getting into that pickle, so she's got to watch out on first. If there's going to be a wild pitch or a pass ball, you want it to happen when there's nobody on base.
That is your safest option.
It limits everything. Limits the chance of errors, running.
She got lucky there.
Got to watch out with Booker in the back picks. That's twice that she's actually thrown down now. The first time was when Ramos got into the rundown and they were lucky enough to advance both runners and get no outs in there.
Patrick has been a star on defense for the Bulldogs. Looking to advance Riborowski. 1 out. Bottom of the 6th. Down by 1.
I wouldn't mind a little sacrifice bunt here. Just get the ball down, get it over, and move over Riborowski. Now the goal is to get Emerald into scoring position, whether that's on a pass ball, she steals, or it's a base hit. Very risky doing the bunt on a 2-2 count. You bunt a foul and you're out. But it ended up working for them, especially in the right way, and they did exactly as they needed to do and move the runner over. Exactly as you said what had to happen, Joey. Exactly what you said. Needed to advance the runner, and then Silva will come up and score the run. I mean, you set up the chance for the double play possibility. Does it happen all that often in softball? No, it doesn't, but there's always a chance of the double play happening, and especially at least with the ground ball in the infield, you can get the lead runner at second. Hey, Natalie Hayes did the right thing. That was a do-or-die play there. It's either you catch the ball, you're the hero, you keep them at second, or you don't go for it, and the same result happens either way.
Luckily,
so she did the exact right thing that she was supposed to do. Great piece of hitting, put it exactly where you wanted, over the head of Silva, and you get yourself a great hit, you get yourself a double and an RBI out of it. She is at almost 100 pitches. She's at 95 pitches right now, and especially in softball, it seems like a ride-or-die type mentality, especially with Gaspari. Every game that she's pitched, she's pretty much gone the whole game. Very rarely has she been taken out, especially in these crucial situations.
Now with runner on scoring position with no outs.
Big spot for a freshman to be in right now. You got a runner on, down by 3. Exactly. The Bulldogs have no outs right now. Bases are loaded. They have to pitch in thoughtfully. I couldn't think of a word there. Thoughtfully.
It's all good,
they have to be able to execute everything. What they're probably talking about right now is that they're gonna bring the corners in, and the play's gonna be at home, or they're gonna bring the whole infield in. The play's gonna be at home to keep that run from scoring. Although it doesn't really matter because that would only put them up by 3 instead of 4. So they might just go back and play normal depth and just have the corners in and have them go home, or it all depends on where the ball's hit. If you're Dean, you have to be aggressive. You can't be you can't be passive. You have to be aggressive. Go after the pitches. Don't be afraid to hit the ball and make contact with the ball. That's how you're going to score the runs. You can't rely on the walk and the walk and the walk to score these runs. Somebody has to step up and get a big hit. We've been harping on it up here is to stay calm. But if you're splaying in that box, man, it's hard to stay calm. I've been there, big plays, and it does take a lot out of you to stay calm and to be productive. And that's what she needs to do.
That one low and in the dirt. And almost a costly mistake from Splain. Luckily, she stays safe. 1-0 the count.
You can't get laxed on the bases, especially with no outs and bases loaded. You don't want to get backpicked.
Matt, the Bulldogs, don't get me wrong, they had some really great plays, some great pitching from Bryce DeGasperi. Just in the end, couldn't get it done.
That's tough. Base running mistakes are one of the things that every team harps on and doesn't want to happen, right? I mean, defense played it perfectly there. They did exactly as they were supposed to. Go home for the force and then go to one for the double play. They did their job, and then getting stuck in the rundown is definitely what cost them there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the post-game Boomer Report here. Bulldogs lose a tough one, 7-4. Late comeback stopped with a game-ending triple play. Matthew, I just want to know your thoughts on this one.
That play to end the game, it was great by the defense. They did exactly as they were supposed to. Corners were in, and they threw home to get the force, and then they went to second. They did exactly as the defense was supposed to do. That's what you do. That's what you learn in practice. That's what you in practice. That's what you harp on every single practice. That's what you do. And then to execute it like that was awesome. The base running mistake to end up getting the triple play. I mean,
I see the idea. I like the idea.
I see the idea of where they were going.
But you got to make your decision way sooner.
Exactly. The game as a whole, it was a great back and forth game. We scored two each. Scored 2 each in the first inning, right? And then they were scoreless for the next 5. And then in the 6th and 7th is when it really, really decided to break open, and that's when just the pace of the game changed, the intensity changed for both teams, right? Because now Dean is trailing for the first time, right? They were down by 4. They were trailing by 4. They were trailing by 4. And that was the first time they were doing it this game. So it changed as well as Maritime was leading. They could play differently. They didn't have to play so correct every time. They didn't have to be perfect. They were allowed to make some mistakes, some mistake pitches.
And it was interesting on the base running mistakes for Dean that you would actually send the runner. That might be either a coaching thing or a player in the moment thing. It almost seemed like DeGasperi ran out of stamina there in the 7th inning. She looked pretty dominant in the 2nd inning after giving up those 2 runs in the first, man.
I mean, with over 125 pitches in one game, it is softball. It's not baseball. It's not as taxing as the arm as it is in baseball to throw 125 pitches. But the stamina, the mental game, and everything all combines and flows into one. And it especially hurts getting a home run hit off of you. That's where it always hurts the worst, no matter what you are, where you do. That's what always, at least for me, that's where it always fell apart. That's where it always hurt.
I agree, Matthew. It's going to be a fun one in this second one, 7-4. Almost more of the same from the first meeting Dean had here on opening day against Fitchburg State. Don't go anywhere. Coming up, it'll be Grant Flood and probably you, Matthew, on the pregame Boomer Report. We'll have to figure that out here after we're done here. for game 2 of this doubleheader here at Longley Field. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Right back.